All right, we have Miss Sarah from Joyous Art by Sarah. How are you doing today, hon?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I just had to. I've been watching, your profile forever now, it seems like, and I just love your art.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's so sweet.
So, talking about the art, just tell everybody kind of what you do.
So I basically I do a lot, honestly. I do too much sometimes, but I really love art. And I love just growing with it. I think too throughout, the years that I've been doing it, because I've been, kind of on and off because I am a mom, so it's hard to kind of pursue your dreams while you have three kids to take care of. But throughout the years, I've just kind of been going with it and doing with what I can. And so the more that my kids kind of grow older, the more I kind of get to do more fun stuff too. And I always say like I'm a kid because I never want to grow up or do or
Yeah.
anything like that. That's too much fun. But I've been doing painting and watercolors. I also do photography. I have my camera right here. I do a lot of nature photography, mixed media too, because I like to kind of transform my pictures and play with them, which is I have like a little example like right here. I do like moon photography and stuff like that, and I love using those bright colors. I've also been recently this past 2 years been doing a lot of mural work and stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. I've been loving doing art on a larger scale.
Yeah. Um, has it always been art for you? Like since you can remember?
Um, yeah, I never knew exactly what, exactly in the arts, but I knew I wanted to do something artsy because like when I grew up, I was more into singing and I love music. I played music till I was like in high school. I played the violin and but I mean, I wasn't really terribly into it as much as other things. And then I think it wasn't until like after high school that I realized that I wanted to do art. But yeah, I love writing. I love poetry. I love all things arts. But I also had tons of jobs where like at Jamba Juice and little things like that along the way.
Yeah. Where did you grow up around art? Was there any kind of like influence when it came to it?
Honestly, growing up, not that much. I lived in Visalia. I grew up in Visalia, California, which is like a really big agriculture town. But I was very inspired by the trees, just the nature in general. Because I do like a lot of nature art, nature photography. So I was definitely inspired by that. And I just, even now, so I love being in nature. And that's one of the cool things about living where I live too in Fresno is we're really close to Yosemite and the mountains and the beach and stuff. So I love all that stuff. And it wasn't until like I moved into Fresno that I really got inspired by the art and the community because if you come visit, I mean, it's just art everywhere, like on the walls, on buildings, tons of murals and stuff like that. And just being here in the culture, it's just like so prominent and it stands out and you can't help but notice its beauty. I really love it.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like I said earlier, I want to come out there so bad because there's just so much out there. I've always done I've kind of done like you growing up where, it's been basically music, but art on all levels because, just beauty in general. Living in a small town just does that, I guess.
Definitely, definitely. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Right. Um, okay, so let's see here. Whenever you talk about your Twitter game that you do, I am just so super interested in what that is.
Oh my God, we have a lot of fun. It's every Wednesday on Twitter, which not a lot of people use that much anymore, but um, Twitter's so funny, but it's been a hashtag game that I've been playing for way too long, and it used to be really popular a couple years back when they used to have at midnight on Comedy Central, and but the hashtag community has just been is like such a loving community, and they just like keep going on with it. And so, like, every week we come up with different games. And let me see if I can grab an example because we just had one that was really funny. And I think that's what a lot of it is really just kind of, playing with words and making it funny. Which I'm all about wordplay. And I think that too is like an art and fun to
Yeah.
do. Um, so let me see if I can find an appropriate example. But but yeah, me and my friends, we've been doing that for a while on there, and I really just enjoy it. And it's just fun too to kind of with everything going on and stuff, to have a distraction,
Oh yeah.
like, so. And it's fun because it's like once a week, and it's just yeah, it's just a little thing like we did. We did bad names for knockoff products, and I put like just for meh, like instead of
Uh,
men, and just like little things like that.
yeah.
There was Rambo Bright or something, and it had a picture of Rambo. I don't know if you can see him in there, but he's dressed as
Yeah.
Rainbow Bright. It's just like weird, silly things like that. So.
That's funny. Is it like, you tag each other and you do it, or how does it, like, the process of it?
Well, if you guys want to play, give me a follow on and the game account is Wednesday. Wednesday. Hold on, let me make sure I get it right. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. What is it? It's Wednesday. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to edit this part.
It's okay. You're fine.
Wednesday Chocolate Wars.
Oh,
And yes, and it's every Wednesday, I want to say at 8 Central Time, 5 p.m. here in Pacific Time. And yeah, Wednesday Chocolate Wars on Twitter. Give us a follow. Come play on Wednesday, and check it out and have some fun.
right. That is so funny. I just read that, and there's always one question like that a person will answer, and I'm always like, man, that's interesting. And I read that, and I was like, I'm gonna have to ask her about that because I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. They're always like, "What are you doing?" Like, what? I don't know. Like, if I'm the only one that thinks it's funny, but some people just like are like, "Oh."
It's no worse than, like, the this or that's or the what ifs or whatever. It's the same thing.
What makes me happy? So.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. um, okay, so we have 3 kids and we've been married. So, how did you meet your husband?
Oh man, the story is so funny. I always tell my friends like I met him through a witch. It was his aunt, who I love and adore. But she's so funny. And it was during the time, it was so long ago. It was during the time, of the Blockbusters and the rental video stores, and she worked there, and I met her, and then I met her again at another party with some friends, and that was and she introduced me to her nephew, who's my husband now, and it was just like I think we met like right after high school, and we just have not been apart since, and it's just been such a crazy journey and experience being with somebody who's like your best friend, and not that it's always been, blissful or that way, but because it is a journey, and then when you throw in kids in the mix, oh wow, it grows.
Yeah.
So, but I've been really lucky though, because, we've both have gone through so much in our life, separately and together. and we're still really strong, and our kids are doing really good, and they're pretty happy most of the time, which I know, like right now, especially with everything going on with COVID, it's been a huge change and adjustment. I mean, that alone, screwed up so many things. And so so the fact that we've been living together and stuff and not killing each other at
Yeah.
the end of this, I think is great. So we still like each other.
That's good. I know that you were talking about COVID and how you had lost your job. What were you doing before COVID, all that?
I did. I lost my job due to COVID. I was actually working with Valley PBS, which is an extension of just the TV station PBS, which does like Sesame Street and all that fun stuff that I grew up with and I loved, and it was totally my dream job to work there. I really was like proud of it, and so I was really upset that when it fell through. And what I was doing was something that I really love and enjoy too, which was helping my community and working with lower income families at the schools here in town. And we would have workshops that we would do with them. We would provide childcare and meals and just kind of inform them about what opportunities are around for them, what free resources we can provide for them, and give them a little help just through it, because a lot of these people can't speak English or need help, translating. So we had tons of different translators there, and it was really growing, and it was getting really big, and I loved it, because you have the families working together, and then the kids all working, with us too, and then we get them all together and we do projects together, and it was just a really fun group and a program that I was involved in. I was super proud to be part of it. But due to lack of funding, because we're not able to work inside the schools anymore with everything going on, it's been put on hold. So, maybe later on it'll come back around. But I haven't been too down about it. I've just been, I'm always trying to look for new opportunities here and there. And my art, I've been so lucky and blessed, that it's been able to kind of help me ride through this. And yeah, I've been getting some new opportunities. Even today I just got one. So I was, I'm just keep looking forward to the future.
Yeah, that's really great. Like, I didn't even know that, the networks did things like that until I came across you and you had said that. And I was like, wow, okay.
It's crazy. Like I didn't even know that either until I became involved in the program. And then it just surprised me too, because not only were we doing it in our own community, we were reaching out to different, communities or other little cities around us, and, that have way less than we do, as far as like resources and stuff like that. So we were kind of giving them all that information and helping them out too. So it was really going really good up until that point. So it
Yeah,
was like really sad to kind of see it, because it helped so many people and stuff. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Volunteer work is just good for the heart anyway.
Honestly, it's so good. I think that's something that we should really get our children more involved in. When I was a kid, unfortunately, I had no choice, because I was kind of thrown into that. It
Yeah.
was like, I grew up on a farm, so I had lots of responsibilities. And then my family, they all were caregivers. So we always, were helping other people. And then they eventually had their own business. So, I was just like always grew up with like a million grandma and grandpas, and just like helping, and being a part of a community that's like a bigger family, that's not really my family but still family, kind of feeling. And that always, I think it really helps you view life differently and appreciate things more, definitely.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I know, so like for me not to do something kind of in that range or field, it feels weird not to. But it's just like in me.
Yeah, yeah, you have that little empty spot in there. I did the same thing growing up. I was super involved in the community and, helped with church and stuff. We did all kinds of volunteer work. And yeah, it's kind of just like, what am I missing whenever there's nothing there doing it, for you? So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's somebody that probably needs your help or a conversation or just, yeah, all those little things.
yeah, yeah, every little bit counts. Um, so end game, I know that you want your art to be your end game, but is there any kind of like specific genre that you want to excel in by the time, it is the end game, basically?
Yeah, definitely. I envisioning so many different things and possibilities, I think too, because I'm always wanting to look forward. And like right now I'm pretty happy like where I am with opportunities that I've been given, and I have some art too that I get to sell at a store in my hometown. So it's kind of cool too that I get that outlet there. But moving forward, I definitely want to be traveling with my art. I would love to be doing more mural work. Of course, I want to be helping the community here and there. I think, while I'm doing that and doing other projects that I like to work on and work people that I like to work with around here. Um, but ultimately, I think where I've been really wanting to push myself into a new direction, which is something I think is completely different, from what I've been doing now, is getting more into like clothing lines and designs and stuff like that, which I mean, that's always been something I've loved and been into. I love fashion. I love shopping, I love thrift store shopping. I love like creating my own things, taking things
Yeah.
apart, putting them back together and stuff like that, which has been something I've always done, with my clothes growing up and stuff. And but with art and all the different ways that I've been making it, I've been creating all these really cool patterns. And so I have some potential there. And it's so funny too, right now with everything kind of being stuck on the docks, they're saying that they're not going to have too much product coming in. So I'm like, I want to do it now, and I want to just like get stuff started, because I just feel like, there's nothing that we can't do our own if we really want to do it, or make or create. I don't believe in limitations or that. So I'm just like, no, let's do this. I could do it. I'm always like, do it yourself.
Right. Um, so I was asking everybody, and since like we didn't get to have a chat last week, because I would have asked you this question, you get two questions. So, what is your favorite horror film? That is the Halloween question.
Ooh, that's a really tough one because there's so many good ones. Oh, I honestly, I have to say I'm very torn between The Exorcist because I love the old school ones, and Interview with the Vampire because I'm like all about vampire movies. I just like not the Twilight ones, but but I've always been a huge Anne Rice fan, and I love that. I love the way she writes. I love the way the dialogue is in her movies too. And Interview with the Vampire, I just like vividly remember watching it for the very first time and just being totally captivated by it, and just visually, it was just such a beautiful movie too.
Mhm. Yeah, I completely agree with that one. That probably has a big impact on me too. Exorcist, yeah, that was probably one of the first ones that I was like super scared of.
Yeah, I remember Exorcist vividly too because I remember always being told like you can't watch that, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And then watching it, I think watching it though, I think people overplayed it for me because I was like, this is, I don't know, it didn't look that real some parts, so it was kind of more funny than scary, but it was still like, it still scared me. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Always, I was a child. Yeah, so I mean, but I've always liked to more of the movies about possessions and exorcisms and stuff like that too. Those always like interest me.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I just like horror, like in general. I can't even like pinpoint like at what point where that came into play either, because that's the only thing I remember is horror films.
Yeah.
And your second question, since you're kind of I guess on the cusp here, but second question is since we're heading into Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for?
Oh, definitely my family and their support and their, love. I know it's like a lot to deal with people who are creative.
Yeah, yeah, a lot.
And yeah, it is a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like an easy person, but and so I'm really like super appreciative of them and their support and their love and especially doing it for so long, doing my art for so long, and the people that have been following me to definitely appreciate them and all the support that they give me too, just because it's I think that's one thing I've learned too the most is just learning to be consistent with it all. And I think that's what I always tell people that are always asking me what I should do or how I should do it or go about it. And it's really just no, you don't have to change anything about yourself, just be consistent about who you are, what you are, what you're doing, and things like that. And so to be going and doing it for so long and growing with it is amazing to me. And I'm truly grateful for that and my family and them showing me, hard work and stuff. Because yeah, they did a lot of, building up from the bottom to the top. So great
Yeah,
example.
yeah. Wow, that you tugged at my heartstrings there. That's a really good answer. I love that. So is your husband artistic at all?
You know what? He is. He's very artistic, and we recently, the past few years, have been getting into pour painting, which is another type of painting I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I really we enjoy doing it together, and at first I was freaking out because I'm like, this is such a waste of paint. Like, because you use very little paint when you're actually painting compared to when you're pouring. And
Yeah.
but the more we've gotten into it, I just really been enjoying the chaos of it all. Because it's not like painting normal painting. Where you have structure, where things are going. This is just like straight up like chaos. Like bam, like it's all going down. I mean, you can I think too, when you start to do it a little bit more, you kind of learn how to have somewhat control of what you're doing and how you're doing it. But we love it. We've been experimenting with it, and we've been doing it for a few years. So we've been investing in it, and I think that's like something that we've been having a lot of fun with too the past few years. We were even talking about maybe doing classes for couples or other people to see if they would want to do it, just because we know it's a lot to get all the supplies, all the stuff and everything, and we always like to help and show people the best way to do it. He also is a drummer too, so he
Oh,
plays music, so it's fun. Yeah, sometimes I'll be at an event selling art and he'll be playing music or something like that, so it's a lot of fun.
yeah. That is so fun. I love it because like me and my husband, we both do art too, and so we kind of just feed off of each other. So I think that's like one of the best relationships is two artists together. It's chaotic, but it's fun.
Yeah, it makes things never a dull moment. Makes things
No.
interesting.
Are any of your kids kind of following in that path too?
Yeah, they do. They're so sweet. They because I'm usually painting a lot most of the day, and usually in the evening after, everything's once they're getting ready for bed. And so they'll come and they'll sit next to me and they'll draw and I've been really loving that and enjoying that, because they I don't even ask them anymore. They just come, and just hang out with me and show me their pictures and all their creations. And I love it. And it's fun. I mean, I don't think any of them want to be an artist per se, or tell me that, but I'm glad that they're doing it and enjoying it, because I think that it's something that should be pushed more for, and as an outlet for kids and stuff, especially with everything going on right now. It's been like my biggest source of therapy and and stuff like that. So if you can find something that you love to do, like a hobby that helps console you or helps you like express yourself, I think that's great, and especially for kids and when they're young. And so I always encourage them, definitely.
Are they in a public school? Like, is everything opened up over there?
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
opened up this year. It's still like a little weird because, parents really aren't allowed on campus very much. And, I don't think they've done very many field trips or anything like that. So, I mean, there's still a lot of restrictions, but they've been back, and I've been really loving my my free time, because
Yeah.
this was the first year where they all went back, all three of them. So, because usually it was just one, and then it was two, and now it's all of them. So it's been a complete different transition, to just like go from having, them being at home and then all at school now. So it's been good. It's been really good for them. I can see the difference between when they were home and when they were there. They feel they're more like tired when they come home. I feel like they put in a full days of work, of
Yeah.
like playing, getting that interaction, and really getting that one-on-one that they need with their teacher, because I don't know, like online schooling was so difficult with my sons. Like their attention spans aren't very long. So it's just, I was always like on it and on them. And I think it just changes the whole dynamic when they're actually in front of somebody and they can, touch things and feel things and learn hands-on, which, I think is the best way, especially for me. I loved it. But man, yeah, it was just like crazy, because one time my son, it was during Halloween last year, we were doing the online schooling. He was doing some workouts or something, and he fell and hit himself really hard, and he was just like bleeding
Oh
all over
no.
himself. And the teacher was like, "Oh, did you dress up for Halloween?" And it was all like, "Oh my God." It was just like so dramatic.
Oh no.
There's so many like online horror stories of like last year when we were doing the online schooling, just because it was just so chaotic. But,
Oh my God.
but like, he was fine and stuff. It was just really scary though, because all the blood, like, and she was like, she thought like, I thought it was fake. It was so much. I was like, no. I'm sorry that you guys had to see that. Yeah, the class is probably traumatized.
That's great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Uh, so outside of the art realm, do you have anything that you don't do, like hobby wise, that's, outside of that?
Oh, you know what? I do so much different art things. I feel like all types of art are my hobbies. But lately I've been really, because I sit down and I do art so much, I've been just wanting to kind of move around more. And I've been like getting into yoga and for a few years now, and I really enjoy it. And then just walks and being in nature more, making more of a point to do it. It's really hard just adding on more hobbies, because with I already have 3 kids and everything going else on
Yeah.
and stuff, and I like to help other people. But it's been like really, this year has been a lot different though for me, because I've really been making time for myself to do that for me, and I think that's been like a really hard thing, especially when you have kids that are so little, when then once they start growing up, it's almost like, what do I do with myself? And
Yeah.
and so yeah, I've been really lucky though that I kind of like knew what direction I wanted to go and where I wanted to utilize my time, because to me that's like the most important thing. And I love my naps and sleeping
Yeah.
and stuff too. So
All right. Well, that's good. I mean, self care is very important.
Yes,
Very important.
definitely. I'm all about that.
So that's your new painting behind you, right? Like the one that you
Yes,
just posted.
I wanted it to be seen. Let me move it to this side. We'll have a better view of it. Let me see if I can get it. But yeah, this one I just did, and I posted it today. But I really love how it came out. And
Yeah.
this is actually a photo I did that I edited right across my street from my house. There's like this really pretty church, and they have a garden, um, and I edited in like some butterflies and made the background a lot more dramatic, and just I really love using these like bright pinks and purple colors and stuff like that. So I really had fun putting this one together though.
Yeah, I like it. It's very abstract. It's very
Yeah, yeah. I love the sunflower details. I was like, it reminded me like very like Van Gogh-y kind of feel in the
yeah.
middle. But yeah.
How long did that take you?
This took me a few days to paint. Um, it's just it takes a lot of hours of just like sitting. Yeah, so that's why I like to. I'm like I have to stretch, I have to move or something, because I'll
Mhm.
just sit there all day and just paint until my back is all hunched over.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been kind of just spending a lot more time on my paintings, which have been really fun and moving quicker than I guess progressing quickly or more with good timing than I guess last year. But I've also been doing Procreate and doing art on there on my tablet. And that's been like almost like starting from scratch for me for some reason.
Yeah.
And because I'm illustrating a book on Procreate right now, so it's been really challenging learning on there. And but it's a lot of fun. I think too, every time I do get something down, I'm really proud of myself, and it helps me for the next project that I'm doing on there and stuff. So I don't want to limit myself on what I can do my art on for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's so much, art is just kind of what you make of it, and
It
there's
really,
just so many things out there now that you can use for it. It's crazy.
yeah, really is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, most definitely. So you've kind of like seen, what I do, like bootleg wise. What would you think about dabbling in the bootleg world?
I think it would be fun. I think, my sons love like action figures and stuff like that. I've never been really into a whole lot of action figures, but I love, comic books and like, the characters that are the action figure
Yeah, yeah,
and things like that. But I love the way you guys do it and how you just like put your own mix on it and creating new things and because I love that. I love originality, and it's so fun when I go out to do events and seeing vendors. Like I don't think we have a lot of people that do the type of art you do, but I would love to see that. I am seeing a little bit more kind of toy wise, stuff out there, but I think too if I kind of went to more of like a setting for that it would be there too. So it's always about, I'm always trying to pick art venues, art, things that go on, just because when people go to other type of events, they don't, that aren't art events, they don't really want art.
yeah,
So yeah, I try to stick to what I do, but it's always fun too to do like really big events and see what other creators have out there. I have such respect and admiration for people who just create in general, and I love like listening to people's stories and how they got started, because the way I see it, I mean, anything in art, you're just a creator, and I think that alone is something that everyone as a creator can bond with and knows the struggles.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. The only reason I asked that question is because me and Bradley were talking about that before you came on.
Oh,
Yeah, we were like, well, might see if she would be interested in doing something like that. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That would be
Uh,
fun. I think too, painting on something new or some, like that would be interesting and fun to play with.
yeah, yeah. It's a very large production. Like I'm not even going to downplay it. It's very large and it's very stressful. But like at the end of the day, whenever you finished that last, clear coat on your thing and have packaged it, it does really,
That's the best feeling. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's like the best. I started out, he's always been like kind of art oriented, like with the drawing and the painting and stuff. Like since he was little, I did more of the music growing up. But he came along about 10 years ago, and I just like picked up on painting and drawing and stuff. And then COVID happened, and that's whenever, I got into the bootleg scene because he had been doing it for about 7 years at that point. And,
Oh,
everything online just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of exploded the art scene. And so there was more and more artists doing, everything. And now there's way more artists doing everything. So,
right. Yeah, we got to keep our sanity somehow.
yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. There's just so much information and so many avenues to go. So, yeah, I don't want to focus on one thing personally. I just want to do
Yeah.
everything.
Honestly, I don't think you should either. And that's the way I've always looked at my art too. I never wanted to just do one genre or one, way of doing things. I love to experiment and play with different ways of, like cubism and abstract and pouring and realistic, art and different types of things like that. And just, keep, because it helps you grow, I mean, maybe you won't always do that style, but I mean, it can help you with whatever style you do end up coming together with, because you get a little bit of everything all mixed into one, which makes it, unique and you.
Right. Now you're talking about you love doing murals. Can you kind of elaborate on that for me? Because I know a little bit about it, but not a whole lot.
Well, I have a few here that I've done just myself in town, and so murals are a lot of fun. I really love them. I've also done some for like some small businesses here, and I really love like graph art. That's really big here in Fresno. I'm not really big in the lettering as far as like graffiti, but I really love playing with cans and doing really big images on that. And it's just so addicting once you get started. I mean, just the smell of it alone
Yeah.
is just like, oh. But and then not only that, seeing your image on a larger scale is just awesome. And it's actually a lot easier for me than painting on smaller canvases and things like that. And I really fell in love with it. And me and some friends, we would just like hang out and practice. There's a few places here in town that, are just kind of free walls for people to just, play around, and that are okay and legal and, and stuff. And it's just kind of grown from there. And then I've been really lucky too, because I network so much, to meet a lot of really cool artists here in town, and that are also doing a lot of big projects. My friend Jason Velasquez, he is a painter here in town, and he has been doing murals with the Fresno Unified School District here in town, which I've already kind of worked with them a little bit doing my work with PBS. And so I got to work with him on his projects, doing murals all over this, a few schools here in a city, and we're planning on doing a winter mural project too. And it's just been such a dream come true, just to see things on a bigger scale and helping my community. And because art, I think too, for kids, just seeing it in your school, seeing big art designs is amazing. And a lot of these places are lower income schools that we're doing this at. And and they don't really have a lot of color, you know. I just like, even some of the schools here, I'm like, gosh, they look so much like a prison or something, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you know, just like having something bright and beautiful like that on a wall that's that big can really, you know, change, you know, the way that they look at things or the way that they feel about their school, you know. And I just really think, I know for me as a kid, I always noticed stuff like that, and I always was looking at paintings for way too long as a child. But you know, I mean, that really shaped me, it changed me, and I love that. And I think colors just do that too. They're really stimulating. And you know, I think if you you can, it can take you to a lot of really cool places for sure.
Oh yeah. Here in Oklahoma, they've kind of stopped doing art and music in the schools, and you know, it really sucks because you know, how are those kids that are artistic going to know, you know, with that aha moment, you know, that they want to do something like that? And it's really sad.
I know. It's always the first thing to get cut out of funding,
Yeah.
which, you know, is heartbreaking to me as an artist. And I've been, you know, even I've been doing it for so long too. I've been on, you know, other projects where we were, you know, halfway. Actually, it was going to be one of my first murals, and it was a couple of years ago that I was going to do with some kids, and they were in foster care and stuff like that. So they were super excited to get out and do something and put something on the wall. And right when we were about to paint it, they got funding and we were never able to do it. And it was such a disheartening like feeling and experience, because you know, you create relationships with these kids and bonds, and then you know, just like them telling you their story about like their painting and how they're expressing, you know, their feelings and going through things that kids should not be going through, you know. And it's just like heartbreaking that they take that away from them, because they need a way to express, you know, their feelings and emotions. And what better way to do it than with music and with art, you know, because if you're not doing it that way, then you know, you could be finding some really bad habits or toxic traits, you know, to kind of get away from that, because everyone needs some kind of outlet for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's usually art on whatever level, you know, that they do have that outlet.
Yeah, it's the best outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Sure.
is. I mean, you can get out your, you know, frustration, your sadness, whatever kind of emotion out with any kind of art. So, you know, it's really sad. Really sad. Okay. So this is where we plug ourselves. So we have um, Joyous Art by Sarah on IG. Is that like the like go to get a hold of you?
Um, Honestly, I want to say yes. I'm always on IG. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's my fave out of all of them. Yeah, I'm usually posting on there and updating people on there on my stories and stuff. So if you do want to get art or a piece, definitely find me on there. I also have a website, sarahjoyous.com, and you can check it out too. I need to kind of update it a little bit and add some more stuff, but I just recently did add a few things. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely do. You can also hit me up on there as well. But yeah, and then I also got a TikTok recently. I'm like, my daughter is always making fun of me because I don't know how to use a lot of these newer apps and stuff. I just
Yeah.
recently got a Facebook too, because I was like, well, I need to get on everything, and because I was originally just IG, and so it's just like funny branching out and doing all these new ones. But let me see. I'm at Joyous.Art.By.Sarah on TikTok too, so you can
Oh,
find me there as well. And I have a little video of creating all my paintings my recent paintings that I've done, and some of my mural work on there too.
yeah. Um, you also do commissions because I've talked to you about commissions. So yeah, yeah. And what do you do commission wise?
Well, commission wise, I mean, it's fun because it can range to anything. I mean, somebody can give me a portrait or a picture of themselves, and I can make the picture look exactly like the one they give me. Or what I like to do, my own personal, thing, is my photo edits, which is kind of like what I did with this photo here, is and then painted it. So I'll usually have them give me a selfie that they like, because I want it to be them as the main focus, as the portrait. And I love it too, because a lot of the people I've done those type of portraits for, I'm just really empathic, too, naturally, and I love filling people out, and my vision and stuff. I just like get their like feelings of what they make me feel and stuff, and I kind of add that into the pictures, as to like how I see them, their personality and stuff. And majority of the time I've been happy that they loved
Yeah.
it. Because I'm always like, if you don't like it or whatever, I know, my vision isn't everyone else's. So, I'm willing to, work with you, or whatever you want to add in or whatever not. But I've been really lucky that everyone kind of likes and knows my style already, and that everyone that's interested kind of knows what they're getting. And then I'll do the photo edit for them, and then which I add a lot of my own background designs and from other photos that I've taken. It's kind of like a lot of like collaging, and then I do the portrait of them too. So those are a little bit pricier, because I do have to kind of create the vision first and then paint it. But if it's just like a photo reference painting, those are usually a little bit cheaper, especially for the holidays. I'll do like discounts. And then I'm already like thinking about December too, because October's over. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
But I love to do Christmas cards too. And they're really cute seasonal Christmas cards that I like to make in watercolor. And they're really like kind of vintage looking, and but I kind of like modernize them. So I had like this really cute vintage Santa, and it says Jolly AF, and
Yeah.
and like a little pinup, and it's like, baby, it's Corona outside, and those are like last year's. And so I love doing them every year. I really love holidays in general, because I missed out as a child. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I was like, I'm gonna celebrate every holiday to the max, like
Yeah.
birthday and everything. So I love to, go all out.
So I was going to let you go, but now you said you were a Jehovah's Witness growing up. So I kind of want to know how that was.
Yeah, growing up in a cult's weird. Yeah. Yeah, it was strange. Definitely. It was like, because I grew up in it. And so luckily my brother and sister didn't have to, because they were born later on. So it was like just my own experiment, I guess. I had to go through it.
Yeah.
And, but it was just really weird. Especially as a kid, it was very much like an outsider looking in, on the world, and, like seeing what everyone does, but not really participating in it. And but it really helped me, I think, be a better person too, because of it, because I appreciate things a lot more. I think too, because I wasn't able to vote or salute the flag or do anything that had to do with politics. I'm an avid voter. I love to stay informed and stuff like that. So it definitely changed me, though. It made me see the world different.
Yeah. Was that like, from birth till when, basically?
Yeah, I was born in it, so till I was like 13 or so.
Okay. How did that
So
change go about?
Yeah, leaving it was crazy, because it was because my parents split, and they do not allow divorces, or not. Yeah, you cannot do that.
Oh.
And so, if you're going to get married, you have to stay for life. It's very like so many rules, and they're very almost Scientology too about it, because they want to like separate you from your family, or are they, if your family's still in the church and you're not, they don't want you to communicate with them. And they because we did have some of our family, but we weren't that close with them. They were in more of the another city, so we didn't see them that often, you know, but they knew we were related, and they were, you know, and so, you know, they didn't want, once you leave the church, they don't want anyone to talk to you, you know, after that and stuff. And they were like such a huge part of our lives for so long, so it was very weird, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really weird transition, but also, you know, I was excited to kind of just experience life in a different way, you know, and see life differently afterwards, because it was really hard on me. I think it was like really a dark time too, because I was like a teenager, my parents split up, and like my whole way of like living was totally like adjusted, you know, and so in a way it was like a little scary for me, but also in a way it was very freeing, and taught me a lot, for sure.
Yeah, I bet that was like a super mixed emotional time right there. How long did it take y'all to get back on kind of a, I guess, normal way of living? Like, could you see it through?
Like the first few years weren't like, I don't know. I mean, we were just like kind of learning, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, well, we didn't know really what to do, like traditional wise, you know, for some things. I mean, a lot of our family still did holidays, you know, so, you know, we just did whatever they did, I guess, or whatever family things they did, and then we kind of just learned from there, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we have also our own little things that we like to do, like on Christmas, me and my mom and my sister will watch Gone with the Wind. I don't know why Gone with the Wind. It's like the most longest, boringest movie in the world. But she loves it, and so we watch it, and that's the only time we're really together for like so long, that we can sit through this movie that takes us like at least like 2 days to watch, you know. But we
Yeah.
make like a thing of it, and we, you know, just in our pajamas all day, and so like it's fun. We came up with like a lot of like weird little quirky, our own like traditions that we like to do, but yeah, we love to like celebrate now. We're all about it.
That's awesome, man. Okay, well, I want to thank you for coming on Behind the Bootleg.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, like this was a really good conversation. I'm glad that we had it.
Yeah, if you ever come to California, come hang out and come to Art Hop and check it out.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.